Hello and welcome to this episode of Pat's Chat. Of course, another awesome guest on my show. I'm really honored. I'm really proud that he is here today with me, Sinan Ismail, the co-founder and CEO of Digital Durian. First of all, Sinan, thank you very much for making the time and being with me today for this episode.
Right. Hi, you're most welcome, Pat. Thanks for having me too.
Sure, thanks to you. And Digital Durian, not about the king of fruits that you are going to digitize, but of course you are the creator of animation cartoons. And when I mention which ones, then everyone will just know in Malaysia and even in a bigger part of the world nowadays, Didi and Friends and Omar and Hana is both IPs coming from your studio, very popular, and we're going to talk about the success story, the awesome success story of these cartoons in a moment. First of all, as always, I would like to know a little bit more about yourself. Of course, Malaysian, born in Malaysia, but where did you grow up, Sinan? What is your past story?
Right. Hi. So again, my name is Sinan Ismail. I'm the CEO, co-founder of Digital Durian, and I was born in Selangor, of course, Alhamdulillah. And my parents were lecturers. My mother she did her PhD in the UK, so I followed her when I was young, from the age of 2 to 8 years old. I was in the UK in London. And then when I came back in Standard 2, I was brought up in Kajang High School boy. And I went to Terengganu for 2 years and then did my matriculation in Negeri Sembilan, Kuala Pilah. And I did my degree in USM with a course computer modeling, which is actually applied mathematics.
Yeah, okay. USM, the University Sains Malaysia in Penang, right?
Yes.
So you made quite a trip overseas. Even what is it that I mean between 2 and 8 you were in UK? What is it that you keep in memories from the time in UK?
Wow, amazing. I think for me, again, I was so young at that moment of time. But I think we are a very big, I am a very big believer of early childhood education. So I think a lot of myself was actually tuned in when I was in the UK. Really, to be honest, I was a scaredy cat during that time. Even there was snow and I was afraid of snow. And then when I watched that video when I was bigger, I was like, why am I afraid of snow? Yeah, but all in all, I think it was a great experience going to the school there. Uh, and when I go back there, and it feels like going back home in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Alhamdulillah, I think it's been a good learning for me. Yeah.
Okay, I understand. So computer modeling was your studies, and you just mentioned your parents are also like in education. So it looks like this modeling or like creating something visible, that was always your thing, right? That's what you wanted to do. How early was it clear for you? Like, were you like the kid that was drawing in the schools and impressing everyone with like the awesome drawings that you could do, or how did you figure out that is what you really like?
I wish I could draw. I can draw, but I can't. I can draw a stick man very well, but man I can't do. But the passion actually came through watching cartoons. Yeah. Of course, you have Optimus Prime here and back there. See that? There's one over here. Yeah. I love the Transformers when I grew up. But I think the biggest change was Toy Story, and, when we saw 3D animation from Pixar, and the passion was always there. The skill, I didn't have drawing skills until today, but animation is just so much more than drawing, and I think it's about storytelling, it's about script writing, it's about directing, it's about the whole package. And there's actually now 50 people in Digital Durian, a great team, and definitely a very creative team, and everybody plays a role to make what Omar Hana is and what didi&friends is now. Yeah.
Okay, oh, very interesting. Yeah, so not the guy then that do the drawing, but you put all the stuff together, as you say. It's more about the stories in the end.
Actually, I can't draw, but I can do 3D animation. Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah. So after USM, actually in USM I learned computer modeling, but 95% was actually mathematics. Yep. And I just went through that. It wasn't what I really loved to do, but it did give me perspective on how to problem solve. I think that's what mathematicians do best. Yeah,
Mhm.
solve problems. And so after graduation, I actually self-taught myself 3D animation, and it's not as easy now than then. Um, then and now. I mean, now you have YouTube, all these video tutorials. Then we had to go to Kinokuniya, buy a book, look at online forums, and it was a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It was a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
Yeah.
I got my big break, I think, when I applied for a job. And the company is called New Org Sdn in Bangsa. It was a boutique 3D architecture company. And I was his first staff. Yep. And that was good for me because I had to learn everything about 3D. And
Mhm.
that gave me a very good base. After 1 year with him, I jumped to doing e-learning because I had some passion in education.
Mhm.
Then after 1 year, I joined Asia Pacific Video Lab, which is a 3D post-production for TV commercials. And that was a lot of fun, but it was also a lot of sleepless nights. Um, but I think it's amazing, the feeling to see our work going on TV. And at that moment of time, I was 25, 26. Yeah. And only after that, um, I started Digital Durian. So along the way, and I don't know how to draw, but I can model, I can animate, I can rig, I can com. I mean, the whole thing except drawing. Yeah.
Instead drawing. For that one, you have other people do that for you. What you
Yeah.
mentioned it is like we're talking 2005, 2007, around this time, right? And as you mentioned, learning things was far more difficult. We could not just YouTube or Google it. We had to go through the books, right, and do a lot of research. Uh, you said you went through a lot of sleepless nights, but then in 2007 you founded Digital Durian Enterprise first. I assume you went through many more sleepless nights, but now at least you were the owner of that company. What was your mindset at that time? What made you change, like from becoming or from being an employee, and then you want to become like self-employed or becoming like an entrepreneur? Do you remember that time, 2000? Or was that
Yeah.
seven something around? Yeah.
I think definitely. I think the reality of the matter at that moment of time, and I'm not proud of it. Yeah. And is I wanted to become an entrepreneur, or not an entrepreneur. I want to have my own business because I wanted money, I wanted more time, I wanted freedom, and so I can watch football, Champions League in the middle of the night, and I don't have to go to work the next day. It was very, and it was very, in a way, selfish, for lack of words, reason to start a business. But the good thing is I took that jump. Yeah, I took that jump, and I didn't have a lot of money. I started with 8,000 ringgit from a freelance job, and I wasn't married yet, so there was a big commitment. Still living with my parents, so let's just give it a try. And I'm happy I did. I'm happy I did. And the values, the reason of doing it, business now is so different compared to when I started. And I think all of that was through falling and learning. Yeah, I wish there were podcasts at that moment of time, and I wish I read a lot more then compared to now. But yeah. So the reality is, Alhamdulillah, yeah, I started it for self reasons, but then it grew to what it is today. And I think the biggest shift, and if you ask me what is the different shift of mindset then and now, or not, you don't even have to say now. From then 2007, 2008 to 2012, yeah, is business or entrepreneurship is not about yourself. It's about creating value for other people. Yeah, it's about giving a value add to the people around you. And and how can you make other people's life better or happier or simpler with your product or service. And it really came back to that, creating value for other people and realizing that. And people, I also tell you that it's not just about our fans or our users. It's also about our team. Yeah, creating a great life for them. It's about our partners. It's about the people we work with, and it's a totally different mindset from where I started. Alhamdulillah. So now I I have the right mindset.
Of course, the size is also different from a one-man show or like two co-founders to like the big enterprise you're leading today. What impressed me is the name itself. I mean, Digital Durian. Today, everything is about digital. We hear that everywhere. But that was like, well, 15 years ago, you came up with the digital and you combined it with durian, the king of fruit, very popular in Malaysia. Well, what was like? Do you remember like how you came up with that name?
Right. Yeah, definitely. Then with my co-founder Hairul, we were having a chat and said, "Yeah, let's open this company." Yeah, we were doing some freelancing together, but let's make it proper. So we were thinking about a name, and of course, we're big fans of Apple. Yeah, but we were thinking like digital. Digital was something which we really wanted. Yeah. Then we said digital cruci, digital macam-macam lah. So many types of digital words came out. But then when we said digital durian, we were like, hey, this could stick for a few reasons. Yeah. First one, like you mentioned earlier in the podcast, that durian is the king of fruits. So we kind of like had that mindset of, okay, let's be the king of digital, and using that durian thing there. Number two is it's a very strong branding wise. So when in our early days, when we were doing B2B, yeah, clients sometimes don't remember my name, but they remember me for durian. So durian burung, durian runtuh, whatever you want to call me, but as long as it's still into your mind. And normally the first question when we talk to clients is why the name Digital Durian. So that's it sticks, yeah.
Kind of an icebreaker also, right? So you get into the discussion, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And number three is also because durian is from this side of the world. Yeah. So we said we want to go global one day, and at least when people hear it, some of them may not know about us, but people who know, they can actually know that we're actually from this part of the world: Malaysia, Indonesia, Southeast Asia. Yeah. So those are the main three reasons why we chose Digital Durian.
Awesome. Okay, that's cool. Thanks so much for sharing that story. And I think now we can dig into the story of really what is a success story today. Also, just that the audience knows what we're talking here about. I think to have the numbers right, didi&friends, almost 4 million subscribers on YouTube. Over 3 billion views. The total views, I think you just got like an award some time ago, 6 billion views on the I think on both shows, didi&friends and Omar and Hana. 6 billion. It's like it's an incredible number. As you said before, 90 to 140 creative people in the company since 2012, and it started all, like, as you said, like with the 8,000 ringgit, like your own funding, but then also like the grants that you tried to apply, which you did not get in 2011, and finally reapplied in 2012. You raised 50,000 ringgit to really start that awesome story. And maybe you can like guys a little bit through that time. 2012, getting a grant or not getting a grant first, getting the grant until 2014 when you really launched didi&friends.
Yeah, cool. So prior to 2012, we did apply to this contest called IPCC under MDEC. Yeah, now it's called DC3 Plus, and it's a contest which is there every year, and a lot of great IPs have actually came out from this contest by MDEC. So we first applied, I think, in 2009 or 2010. I think it was 2009. And we got through the first round until the pitching session. And the pitching round, I did so bad. It was probably my worst presentation ever. And we got rejected, definitely. And in 2011, we applied again for IPCC, and we didn't even get through to the pitching round, even worse. And 2012, we said, maybe this is our last time. Let's just last try. Yeah, you never know that after shoveling, maybe the treasure is down there. You don't know. Okay, let's just try. Maybe the time lucky. But one thing which triggered us also was the theme for that year was actually education. So animation for education, and that's what we love to do. Yeah. So we applied in 2012. We got it. We got to the first stage. They went for the pitching. The pitching was one of the best I've done ever. Flipped from the worst. Yeah. And Alhamdulillah, we got the 50,000. And from there, I'll just share that at that moment of time, we were struggling on the Digital Durian end. Yeah. And throughout the journey, 2008 to 2012, there were times we didn't have salaries. There were times that even my car, there was somebody outside of Jalan Nampang and knocking on the window and saying, "Get out of the car, you haven't paid." Luckily, I just paid the day before. So it was up to that point. So like you mentioned, people see the success, yeah, but the hardship behind it was so much. But so when we got that grant, and I didn't know how big didi&friends will become, definitely. Yeah, but what I knew is I want to create value for people. Yeah, I didn't know the business model yet. We didn't know how IP worked, but we just said that, hey, let's create a cartoon which has benefit for people, and inshallah, maybe we'll get the rewards somehow, somewhere, some way. Yeah, and so when we got that award, when it was announced, it was like a dinner thing, and I actually became emotional. And after the announcement, straight away, I went out and called my wife, and I couldn't speak. And it was pretty weird. 50,000 is a lot, but it's not a lot for a company. Yep. So it was just that feeling of, okay, this is going to be life changing. Yeah. And indeed it was, and to be where we are today. But again, after getting the 50,000, it wasn't like everything is beautiful after that. No. Yeah, we had to create the first pilot for didi&friends. We then pitched it to local broadcasters, international broadcasters, and of course, what they said was, it looks good, but we're not going to take it. Yep. So all of them rejected me, rejected us, and I brought didi&friends to Singapore with the help of MDEC, of course. Yeah. Then we went to ATF in Thailand and pitching and getting feedback, and everybody rejected us. So we said that, okay, what's next? Yeah. A few people in the industry did mention to us, hey, start on YouTube. All right. But then I think the biggest changing point was when my son was 1 year old. And at that moment of time, we were actually showing him videos on YouTube, children's songs in English, and there was millions of views. And we searched for lagu kanak-kanak, which is in Bahasa, and there was no quality content. Then I did some Google keyword research, and there were actually 10,000 people looking for lagu kanak-kanak, but nobody was actually serving them. Yeah.
Okay.
We said that, okay, using data, using what we have, right, let's shift and change didi&friends from didi&friends the science explorers, that's how we started, and to didi&friends lagu kanak-kanak.
Yeah, yeah.
And we launched our first song on YouTube in May 2014, and the pickup was really great. Yeah, in the first year we targeted 1 million views. We actually ended that year with 5.5 million views.
Wow.
So
yeah.
it was really great. And then from there on, I think it was better. We started to talk to the broadcasters, talking to Astro, and Astro got back, and from there we actually went into a co-production deal with Astro, and the rest is history, as you know now. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Very beautiful, beautiful story. One question, maybe a quick one. Why the chicken? Or I think it's an ayam serama. It's called. It's like the local
Yeah.
Malaysian chicken. I think we can see a D on the top of your shelf there on the top right.
Oh,
Yeah, correct.
the-
Just a
this
big.
was the first didi&friends mascot. It doesn't
Oh,
look anything like it is now, right?
yeah,
It's
different,
very
different. Yeah,
different. So
yeah.
getting feedback from the broadcasters, from the industry friends, and ourselves, be critical on ourselves. Right? We really did a lot to change this to this.
Hmm,
Yeah.
hmm.
And
But why the
then
chicken? What was your?
the, the reality is, my team member and our creative director, then he did it in 3D in 2010. And he can't draw that much. Better than me, but not that good. So he did this chicken in 3D, and he just loved Ayam Serama. And when I saw that image, I said that, hey, Zai, this is cute. Maybe keep it. We're doing servicing jobs now. We're doing other stuff. Maybe one day we'll make it famous. So it was in the bank or in the storage for 2 years. But the reality of why chicken is because I can't draw, he can't draw. He did it for fun. And the basic shape of DD is actually two spheres, which created in 3D. Yeah. And even the legs weren't combined. So the reality is, we can't draw. We are actually more of a physical, um, not physical. We were more non-organic type of 3D animation company. So we did a lot of oil and gas, not character animation. So we didn't know how to model
Uh-huh.
a character.
A character.
We don't know how to do something as simple as this. Just two circles,
Hmm.
and the hands are just it's like plasticine. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the real reason why we didn't have the technical knowledge to do it. But at the same time, Zai and myself, we also mentioned that hey, there's no Ayam Serama cartoon in the market yet.
Yeah.
That is unique Malaysian, so let's give it a try.
True, true. And obviously, the simplicity was also the start of that success. There was one point I read in one of the interviews you were giving. I mean, well, you had that success in YouTube. You were able to start selling it to TV stations. But then at one point, it looks like there was still like a big challenge in the company where you had to downscale the company. You were not even sure if you were surviving. What happened? Like if you look back at that, what happened there, and what is like the learning that you took from this again the difficult time that you went through there?
Right. Yeah, I'll share my past and I'll relate it to where we are now also. So there's actually two times and where we had to do a major downsizing. And the first one was in 2010. The second one was in 2012, 2013. Yeah. And as an entrepreneur or as a leader, that's the worst thing which you want to do because you have your people, you hire them, you have the responsibility to what's the right word, to take care of them. Yeah, you have the responsibility to grow them, and suddenly you have to release them. So it's one of the worst things as a leader to have to do. Yeah, but then why did we do it? Is because of financials, and we just had in the first 2 years we were doing a lot more servicing jobs, and then we didn't get any more jobs, and money in the bank from 6 figures went down to 5 figures, and we just had to tell the team that hey, we can't sustain you anymore.
Mm.
Yep, we're very very sorry, and we're not getting any jobs, and we hope that you're okay if you can move on. And then we didn't even know about the Employment Act. We didn't have a proper HR, so I don't know if it was done right, to be honest. But it was a small company, still struggling to survive, and definitely it wasn't easy. Those conversations, yeah. The second time was actually so after that first shift, that first downsizing, we actually shifted from um, servicing B2B to weddings. Yeah, we actually did weddings for 2 years, and then we hired again. We rebuilt the team, um, but then we crumbled again. So that was the second time. But ultimately, this is what I believe. Yeah, as a leader, you need to do what's best for everyone. Yeah, it's not just yourself. It's not just a company. But when I say everyone, when you downsize, when you have to let people go, it is actually the best for them too. Because and you may think it's not in the short term, but in the long term, if you keep them, but you can't grow them, if you keep them and you hold them from actually going to somewhere else, which they can actually do better things, or get a better opportunity to grow, a better salary maybe. Yep, then you're not doing the best for them. And but we always tend to look at the short term, and when we say that hey, we have to release people, and people say, and even normally the society says that hey, you're doing a bad thing here. But we know the finances. We know that if you cannot go here, why should you stay here? Yeah. And relating to, I told you I'm going to relate it to where we are now. We've just finished as a group of leaders. We call them Khalifa in our company. Yeah, our senior leadership team. We just finished the book Good to Great Together. Yeah, by Jim Collins, and it's an amazing book. And one key point he says that get the right people on the bus. People normally say that people are your best asset. In that book, he says no, that's wrong. The right people in the right place are your best asset.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Which is true. And people are people. If you have the wrong people in the wrong place, then they're not an asset, they're liability. Yeah. And so through that book, we actually learned a lot, and as a company. And we believe in Digital Durian now. We have the right people in the right place. Yep. And moving forward to our new aspiration. And but relating back to them, just going back to the question. Yeah, I mean it was a torrid experience, but as an entrepreneur, as a human, not just as an entrepreneur, yeah, these experiences make you who you are now. Yeah, these experiences teach you. It may be the hard way, but I wouldn't change anything, to be honest, because without all those experiences, myself and my company wouldn't be where it is now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that, Sinan. I think many very valuable ideas and input about the story and how it formed you and the company also. And as we're coming closer to the end of this episode, I still want to touch that. I mean, highlight of didi&friends so far. I see like 2018, you did you released a cinema film, which is obviously quite exciting things to do. But also, I wanted to quickly touch on the other series that you then launched in 2017, Omar and Hana. That's the two kids we see there in the shelf. Also, yeah, this one, right? This one I found also quite interesting. So the description you have for them is. You want to target young Muslim children around the world to teach them good Islamic values and virtues. I have to admit, I didn't watch the episodes, of course, but I can imagine it's very valuable. And within like little time, I mean, 2017 today, 4 years, you aired this series in more than 25 countries, right? I'm not going to list them, 4 languages, but 25 countries. And just like maybe also something to mention, which you were obviously very proud to show, Paul Pogba, the French football player of Man U, right? Was just posting on social media how he was like watching the series, right? So maybe can you just give us like 2-3 cents about that success story also, and how was it possible that this kicked off so obviously so fast and became so fast so big?
Yeah. Thank you. I'll take some time on this. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. But Omar Hana is very close to me. yeah, as a product, because I did mention my parents were lecturers, but they're actually lecturers in the Islamic field. And when my father was alive, and he passed away in 2014, when he was alive, I did want to do an Islamic cartoon with him. I didn't get to do that. Yeah, but it's quite dear to me, this idea. But then when we started to do it in 2017, you mentioned the book is huge, it's big, it's much more global than didi&friends, to be honest. Our English channel is approaching 1 million subscribers, and only 8% of the views come from Malaysia. Yeah. And the biggest viewership actually comes from the UK, 19%, the US, I think 17%,
Wow.
then
Okay.
Pakistan, India, and all around the world. So
Mm.
it's not just doing the language, it's actually doing the language and people are appreciating it, people are watching it. And like you mentioned, I was so happy. I'm a United fan, I'm a football fan. And Paul Pogba posting is like, wow. And it wasn't, we don't even knew he watched it, right? So it's like, it's not a paid post, it's like something like, wow, this is really great. And so Omar Hana is, again, it's that when we started, nobody was actually doing high quality content for Muslim children. Yeah. And when we started to do it, we didn't know where we're going to sell it, will people accept it? But it's been amazing. People are coming back to us from all around the world, giving great feedback. And this is where the point is actually it's pivoting us for the next round of future. So why do I say that? Because of the success which we got in Digital Durian through didi&friends and Omar Hana, yeah. And we believe that there is a market gap there for Islamic content. So we're going on this new venture, and it's called Durio. And Durio, our aspiration is to be the leading edutainment company for Muslim children all around the world. And for a layman, I would keep it easy. Yeah, we want to be the Disney for Muslim children. Put it that way. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're just starting on this new journey. We're looking for investors. We're talking to people from all around the world. We don't know where it's going to lead us, but what we do know is if we do this well, and it has a huge impact for more than 200 million Muslim children all around the world. And we believe we can reach them. We believe that it's something great to do. And going beyond the Islamic world, I mean, what we're doing, we're not doing Islamic content, we're doing content with Islamic essence. Yeah. So it's values and virtues, but it's closer to the teachings of the Quran. And I think it's an underserved market, and we believe that we can be the next Disney for the Muslim children, or the next Netflix, or hopefully become a unicorn. We don't know. Yeah, we're evolving from a content company to a content and tech company, and that's basically our next journey. We don't know where it'll bring us yet, but what we do believe, again, when we started DDM, the same thing. We're going to create value for people, and with the right business model, and hopefully then I tell my team this, yeah, and I tell them again and again that in Malaysia, and our animators, or not animators, our creative guys in the animation field are not paid as well as the guys that are in Pixar or all around the world. Yeah, just move it to where we're not paid as well as the engineers. Yeah, so it has always been my mission to get them to a pay which at least is equivalent to engineers or doctors in Malaysia one day. Yeah, and we can only do that by creating great content for a global audience. And I think through this new mission by Durio, and I think that is something which we can achieve. And I'm very passionate to achieve that. Two reasons again: one for the fans, for the children all around the world, and one for my team. So I really hope that it becomes a reality. We don't know. It's an exciting journey ahead, inshallah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sinan, for sharing that. Also, I'm very honored that you mentioned that new things that you're planning here on the show. Extremely proud to have you on this episode. Really, happy to have learned really a lot from you today, your journey and the up and downs that you shared with us, and above all, the great success that you have currently. And of course, I wish you more success with the current shows, with your future ventures, the plans and the ideas that you have. Thanks so much, Sinan.
Thank you for having me again. I really hope that the listeners do benefit from this talk. And if you want to connect with me, yeah, they can follow me on LinkedIn. Just search for Sinan Ismail. And definitely, I think for me as an entrepreneur, it's about creating value for people. So when Pat came and when you came and said, "Hey, let's do this," I felt like, hey, great. Yeah, it's something where people can get value of, and hopefully we or anybody can keep creating value for each other, and ultimately make the world a better place.
Awesome. Nice final word. Nothing to add here. Again, thank you so much, Sinan. Thanks to the audience. Well, I think you definitely could enjoy this episode. And then I see you for a new one probably next week. Pat's Chat. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.